Hello, and welcome to Time Between Times storytelling. My name is Owen Staton. Welcome to a place where tales are traditionally told. Welcome to the time between times, the time when it is neither night nor day, but the sun is gone and the sky is grey. Welcome to the time when the veil between our world and the fairy world grows wafer thin. You know the time between times, the time when you're home from work, you're home from school, you're home from study. But it's not quite time to go to bed. You look outside and the sky is grey. The veil between our world is so thin with the other world that we can reach for a few moments into their realm, and for a few moments they can reach into ours. The time between times, that's the time that people see ghosts. That's the time that people see lights in the sky. That is the time of stories. So sit back, relax, let all your cares, your strifes, your worries wash away on a raging river. And clear your mind for just a few moments as we sit and enjoy a tale. Not all tales are happy. Not all tales are filled with joy. Not all tales are about the Tylwyth Teg. And here in Wales we have great traditions, great ghostly traditions, of premonitions, of presentiments, of death omens. And today's tale is of exactly that. Today's tale is the Red Dog of Morfa. Now, for those from the southern part of Wales, the industrial heritage is proud. But of course, with that comes danger. In 1849, what is now Port Talbot, Vivian and Sons, dug their first pit and colliery, the Morfa Colliery. Dug it deep in the earth and far out under the sea. This was one of the biggest mines in all the area, and hundreds of people went to work there every day. From 1849 to 1870, there were many explosions, many tunnel collapses, many deaths, and many legends associated with that pit. In 1870, following an explosion, one miner crawled his broken body over all the jagged rocks, just at a glimmering bit of light that he could see, and felt that he could only escape with his life if he made his way there. Just as his energy left his body, just as he was about to lay down and let the pit take him, just as he was about to sit there and succumb to this grave forever, he saw in front of him a red dog in the tunnel. The red dog sniffed at his body, licked his face, and then walked towards the light. The miner crawled after him, but when he got out and told his rescuers what had happened, nobody else had seen the red dog. For years after that, the Coblynau were heard, the knockers. The miners in South Wales had many traditions, but the Coblynau were one of the terrifying ones. If you were dark underneath in the tunnels and shafts of a pit, and you heard knocking on the walls, that was the spirits, the fairies, the pixies, the gnomes, the creatures of the mines telling you that things were not safe. But the tale I will tell you happened in 1890, a long time ago, but is still well remembered in all of southern Wales, in the Morfa Colliery. On March the 8th, in the village of Taibach, not far away from the Morfa, where many of the miners lived, you could walk down the street in the middle of the night and it would be silent. Just candles in the window, for all was abed waiting for the morning shift to happen. One miner looked outside his window, and there on the cobbled street outside, there patted a great hound up and down the streets. A red hound. The Red Hound of Morfa. It walked up and down, sniffing at the houses. It is said that it stopped at every third house. Nobody knew why until later. 6 people saw the dog that night, and the next day, Taibach was awash with tales. That night it was seen again. This time 8 houses witnessed the dog walking up and down the Taibach streets where the colliers lived. And on the 10th of March, of the 450 colliers who worked in the Morfa colliery, 200 did not turn up for work. So terrified were they at the sighting of the Red Dog. That morning, the miners descended into the colliery with their candles, with their pickaxes, with their small amounts of food, and with their prayers held to their hearts. As the day carried on, it was said that early on the coblanai were heard, knocking far away at first, but getting closer and closer and echoing through the shafts. Some of the miners stopped and looked around, and all they could hear was the knocking, knocking, knocking. Then voices were heard, disembodied voices far away, like somebody calling, but just out of hearing. So you could hear the voice, you could hear the sound, but he could not hear what was being said. And then the tunnels were filled with the sweet smell of roses. It wafted up and down through the dark tunnels. Even the pit ponies stopped and sniffed the air. By this point, many of the miners were terrified and started to shovel and shuffle their way towards the entranceways. The foreman kept them down, though, for the shift was not over, the work was not done. But then, all of a sudden, deep beneath the earth, in the deepest, darkest, dankest part of the mine, an explosion happened. Slowly at first. And then it blew up, causing fire to rip through the tunnels. The men scattered, many of them rushing and clambering over bodies, try and make it to the light. "89 were killed that day. It took 2 weeks to find all the bodies, and some are still not accounted for, and lay deep beneath the earth even to this day. It was said that in the days after the disaster, the Red Dog was seen overlooking the rescue operation, standing on a hilltop, looking down, and only when the operation finished did the dog leave, not to be seen again. The Red Dog of Morfa, like a gwyllgi, like a grach or ribbon, is a common presentiment, a common omen of death. And in the pit of ghosts, the Morfa colliery, to even mention the Red Dog from that point on was enough to get you sacked, get you to leave. Even now it is said that on nights where doom is foretold, where something is about to happen, the Red Dog of Morfa can be seen walking the streets of Port Talbot, up and down the streets, sniffing at houses where the doomed do dwell. So please, make sure that you do not see him, or if you do, take heed and stay at home and stay safe. Listen to the coblanai and watch out for the smell of roses deep within the mines. The pit of ghosts lies dormant now, just a memorial to the men who died. But even now the workers in the steelworks hear voices deep beneath the earth, disembodied voices, talking just out of reach. And Cymraeg, there are many ghosts there, but now it is silent. Long may it be so. And that, my friends, is the tale of the Red Dog of Morfa. As I said, not all tales are happy, not all tales are sad, not all tales are filled with terror, but tonight's was. Sometimes it's good for the soul to be scared. Join us again at the the time between times. Thank you ever so much for listening. Thank you for joining us week after week and making this channel grow and grow. If you like what you hear, please like, please subscribe, please leave a nice comment. It makes my day to receive a nice comment or something from someone so I know that you are listening and are gathering at the time between times. Tell a friend about the channel. Simple stories traditionally told with me, Owen Staton. Diolch yn fawr. Take care.